of knee deck. This unprecedented influx quickly overwhelmed the Spanish exclave in North Africa before leading to thousands of returns back to Morocco.
"23-year-old Mohamed Nias was one of as many as 60,000 migrants who crossed into Ceuta,
mostly swimming around the small border post that juts into the Mediterranean Sea. In an unprecedented surge that prompted an international crisis for Spain and questions about immigration. He lamented that he had tried his luck to find work because there are no jobs in Morocco. He survives by doing odd jobs as a mechanic. But after the treacherous journey across the sea, he is crossing back over the border.
The first time I entered Ceuta, I was expelled straight away. It wasn't like this time when I stayed, got to know the city and its atmosphere, and realized there was a lot of racism. As for the people who work here, I tell them not to emigrate to suffer. Just look at my situation. There is no God but Allah.
Migrants streamed back across the border into Morocco in small groups after spending 2 or 3 days in the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, wandering the streets with almost nothing to eat and little welcome. Spanish soldiers and civil guard officers directed a steady flow of people, mostly very young men, towards the exit at the border crossing. Some were barefoot, others had Red Cross blankets draped over their shoulders. Many were visibly exhausted after days of wandering around the town.
Honestly, in Ceuta, I saw forms of oppression I had never witnessed before. I swear, I saw weapons, something I had never seen in my life. I've traveled a lot and I've never seen anything like it anywhere else. And yet we're still in our own country and we saw things we've never seen, not even in Colombia. I've never seen anything like it in all my life.
Thousands of women caught up in the melee say they are suffering terribly in Ceuta as they wait with other migrants at a warehouse complex in the Spanish enclave.
First, we have no blankets, nothing to lie on. We're only given food once a day. Since the day before yesterday, we haven't had any water. We don't have water to wash or shower. The showers and toilets have been closed. Frankly, we're suffering terribly.
Spain still insists its sovereignty over Ceuta was unquestionable. Madrid has avoided criticizing Rabat over last week's mass arrivals, which some commentators have interpreted as a means for Morocco to pressure Spain. Morocco does not recognize Ceuta and Madrid's other territory in North Africa, Melilla, as Spanish and has claimed sovereignty over them since its independence in 1956. Spanish authorities say the toll of 72 people found dead in their waters had not risen, but Moroccan government countered that number.
At this stage, these events have resulted in an accidental death following a fall from a rocky area located near the city of Ceuta, as well as 10 deaths by drowning.
Some analysts suggested Morocco might have allowed migrants to cross the border to put diplomatic pressure on Spain, which has recently improved ties with Rabat's arch-enemy, Algeria. Spanish officials accused criminal gangs of spreading rumors that a recent Spanish Supreme Court ruling on immigration would allow migrants easier passage. That backfired. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One. And from North Africa, let's head to East Africa now, where Ugandan opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who is on trial for treason, is conscious but very weak and unable to speak. That's an account from his wife. The 70-year-old Besigye, a long-time rival President Yoweri Museveni, has been in jail since late 2024 when he was kidnapped in Kenya and smuggled back to Uganda. Besigye was admitted to an intensive care unit in the Ugandan capital Kampala after collapsing during a court hearing on July 30th.
It was an intense day for prominent detained Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye. As soon as he walked into the courtroom, the 70-year-old started shouting continuously.
This nonsense must stop. This nonsense must stop. You can handcuff me, but this nonsense will have to stop. You must close my mouth if you want. I will not keep quiet. I will not keep quiet. I will not allow this nonsense to continue.
Besigye has been in custody since November 2024 after he was detained together with his aide Obeid Lutal in neighboring Kenya, and both were repatriated to Uganda, where they were subsequently charged with treason. They denied the charges, and party officials and their lawyers have described the charges as politically motivated. Multiple attempts to be released on bail have been denied.
You are abusing the law. You are abusing these courts. These courts must refuse this. We must.
Moments after this outrageous brawl, the politician suddenly collapsed. He was to be stretchered off the court into a waiting ambulance with no information of where he was being taken. Miles away in neighboring Kenya, activists gathered to demand Besigye's release. The activists described Besigye's condition as critical and accused Ugandan authorities of frustrating due process in the opposition leader's treason case.
The international community and all associates of the human rights should come through, because if nothing happens, Uganda will no longer be a country. It's a terror or a dungeon of murder, torture, of which many people are afraid to speak out.
The continued detention of Dr. Besigye therefore cannot be viewed in isolation. His unlawful cross-border rendition, prolonged detention, deteriorating health, and continued prosecution, despite mounting challenges to the state's own evidence, collectively point to an escalating assault on due processes, judicial independence, and the rule of law.
Critics of President Yoweri Museveni say Besigye's continued detention is an example of rampant human rights violations in the country, including crackdowns on opposition leaders and critics.
I have not come to ask for sympathy. No. I have come to insist calmly but firmly that Dr. Kizza Besigye is entitled to every right and protection guaranteed by the Constitution of Uganda. Nothing more, nothing less. That is his right, as it is for every other Ugandan. So I'm not asking for favors. I'm not asking anyone to bend the law. I'm simply asking that the Constitution of Uganda is respected.
Bobi Wine, who leads Uganda's largest opposition party and who was Museveni's main opponent in the last elections in January, has fled to the United States. In February, Bessie J was briefly hospitalized after he went on a hunger strike protesting his detention. And in April, his wife, Winnie Byanyima, told rights group Amnesty International that his health is not that good. Bessie J has been pressing the government to restore his defense team after the lead attorney, Martha Karua, a Kenyan, was declared persona non grata, while another senior lawyer on the team, Erias Lukwago, was detained and charged with misprision of treason. He remains in custody. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Let's head to West Africa now. Liberian President Joseph Boakai has dismissed a dozen government officials and recommended a handful for investigation following massive drug busts in recent months that have generated a public outcry for more stringent action. An estimated 1 in 4 young Liberians is affected or dependent on a substance called kush, leading many to drop out of school and live on the streets as homeless youths, commonly known as Zogos.
Liberian authorities destroyed nearly 4 tons of cocaine on July 30th that had been seized in one of the country's largest drug busts. Officers found 3,971 kilograms of cocaine in the town of Douazon, east of the capital Monrovia. They arrested 2 suspects, one with passports from both Spain and Colombia, the other with a Serbian passport. Authorities said the origin of the cocaine was still unclear and that further chemical analysis was needed. West African countries are frequently used as transit routes by international trafficking networks moving cocaine from South America to Europe.
This is a win for Liberia. This is a clear message to criminal organizations that Liberia is not your comfort zone. Don't come here. There's no space for you here. There's no political will for you to operate within our borders. You bring your stuff, we'll arrest you, we'll prosecute you, we'll destroy it. Similarly to what you see here, we'll burn it.
On the streets of Liberia's capital, the signs of the kush crisis are increasingly hard to miss. Young people gather in neighborhoods where families say addiction has pulled children away from school, their homes, and their communities. Kush, a cheap and highly addictive synthetic street drug, has spread across parts of West Africa and has become one of Liberia's most urgent public concerns. First reported in neighboring Sierra Leone, it has since spread into Liberia, where parents say they have watched young people slip into addiction and struggle to return to everyday life. Liberia declared drug abuse a public health emergency in 2024.
The drug epidemic, especially the use of kush. The use of kush in our country is an existential threat, eating away the future of our children and the country. We must stand up and face this national security risk together. Given the need for immediate action to make good my pledge to the thousands of families burdened by this crisis, I am hereby declaring drug and substance abuse as a public health emergency.
For families trying to help relatives recover, treatment options remain limited. Liberia's government rehabilitation center in Bentol City, about 30 kilometers from Monrovia, remains unfinished. Many families are left to seek help from private facilities, some of which doctors say operate without trained staff or proper oversight. The hidden business behind the street crisis, while families grapple with the visible consequences of kush, authorities have uncovered evidence of a much larger narcotics trade operating through Liberia. The exact contents of kush remain unclear. Authorities know the drug is spreading, but further testing is still needed to determine the substances being mixed into it.
And this is our commitment. We say we will dismantle for trafficking network in Liberia. We ensure that the place does not become a sea haven for drug traffic or organized crime. And we are committed to doing that.
The government has promised tougher enforcement, asset seizures, border controls, and expanded rehabilitation services. For families, the question is whether the response will move beyond those struggling with addiction and reach those bringing the drugs into the country. Africa Bureau, WION World is one.
Algeria's parliament elected its first ever woman speaker, making Khalida Boufedetche the fourth highest ranking official in the country. Boufedetche, a non-allegist by training who represents the capital Algiers, is a member of the National Liberation Front, or FLN, the historic party of Algerian independence and allied with the current government.
Shukran. Shukran.
Ms. Khalida Boufedetche received 302 votes out of 405 registered voters.
This event marks a major turning point in our country's history and reflects the scale of the transformations Algeria is undergoing. It also embodies the political will that has driven the consolidation of the rule of law, the strengthening of institutions, and the promotion of all national talents.
Every July in Togo's Kara region, thousands of young people from the Kabylie ethnic group participate in the initiation ritual of Evala, a transition to manhood revolving around wrestling.
The bare-chested young men emerged from a forest ceremony in northern Togo, chanting war songs, ready for the initiation tradition of Evala, in which they wrestle to become men. Every mid-July, thousands of ethnic Kabi men aged 18 to 20 take part in the ancestral rite of passage in the West African nation's Kara region, hundreds of kilometers from the capital Lomé. Authorities hope it will soon be recognized by UNESCO. Ahead of wrestling, the participating Evalo, as the young men are called, must sport 3 small scars near each ear made using blades. The next rite requires they dance with a dog until it dies of exhaustion.
The scars are done at the level of the ears here, 3 lines, and that's it. It takes place the day before the fights. You can have it done well in advance or else the day before. People need to be able to recognize you by those scars.
The clashes were rough and the falls sometimes spectacular. Injured wrestlers received first aid from the emergency teams on site. Some even had to be taken to nearby hospitals. Around the arena, each camp cheered on its wrestlers. Although taking part in the Evala is not compulsory in Kabi tradition, young men face social pressure.
Evala is actually a way of categorizing society. When you're young, you're an Ihosi, which means there are many things that are forbidden to you. Then, once you've been initiated, you take your place among the adults.
It was very good, because that's what we were born into, that's what we saw. It was there before we were born. As we grew up, it was there, and I learned all of that. It means being a good man. It's a ceremony for us Kabais.
Several high-ranking officials, including ministers and officers of the Togolese army from the Kara region, also went through the Evala. Notable among them is Togo's president and current leader of the Council of Ministers, Fari Nasingbe. The wrestling matches have already piqued the interest of domestic and foreign tourists.
I've been wanting to discover Evala for quite long. It's my first time. It's a wonderful discovery because I feel it's about preserving ancestral traditions and customs. And I think that's important for the young people here.
Togo has launched the process to register the Evala on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Thank you, Africa, for watching the show this week. Get in touch with us on our website, WIONnews.com, and social media platforms, and share your stories with us. We'd love to highlight them to the world. This is WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. Goodbye.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION World is One.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is One.
In this rapidly changing world, is your health keeping pace? Best practices and breakthroughs busting the hype with real insights. The timeless power of yoga and ancient healing. Good food, good mood. Small steps, big impact. Your health matters. Only on WION World is One. Because nothing matters more.
WION, India's global voice. The channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who